In times like these, we all need a word of encouragement. From pastor and best-selling author Max Lucado comes the Max Lucado Encouraging Word podcast. With over 40 years of ministry and more than 145 million books sold in 50 languages, Max shares the greatest story ever told, the living Savior who brings hope for a lifetime. Through rich biblical insight, heartfelt storytelling, you'll be reminded that God is always near, always for you, and always in you. Listen to the Max Lucado Encouraging Word podcast, where hope meets your day. Subscribe now wherever you get your podcasts.
Life Audio.
Welcome to the Untangling Prayer Podcast. I'm Rachel Wojo, and each week we unravel life's knots through prayer. Here you'll find practical wisdom and prayer encouragement to guide you through life's hardest seasons. Join me as we untangle life's messes together, one prayer at a time.
Well, hey there, I'm Rachel, and I'm so glad you're here today. I'm going to be real with you right from the very start. This morning was a morning. I woke up, looked at the sign in my bathroom like I always do that says, start each day with gratitude. And I just thought, Lord, I really need some help with that today. I've been doing this writing, podcasting, showing up online in some form or another for 16 years. And I started with a little blogspot blog and just kept going. Not because it was easy, but because God kept nudging me forward. And the first quarter this year has been long. Family stuff, financial stuff, the weather, just a lot. And some mornings you wake up and you genuinely wonder, do I have anything to give today? Maybe you know what I'm talking about. And so today we're talking about a guy in the Bible who hit that wall hard and what God did next. I need this today, and I have a feeling you might too. But first, if you're in a season where one more step feels genuinely impossible, I want to make sure you know about my book, One More Step, Finding Strength When You Feel Like Giving Up. It's available at rachelwojo.com/books/one-more-step. I'll leave that link in the show notes. And today we're going to go into questions in hard spaces. The first segment of the podcast is always a question. And today's question, is it okay to tell God that I don't have the strength to keep going? Is it okay that you don't have the strength to tell God that, I just can't keep praying? Well, I look at the Bible in 1 Kings 19. I read this last week about where Elijah was, and he had just come off of this enormous victory in his ministry. Mount Carmel, fire fell from heaven. 450 prophets of Baal were gone. It's one of the most dramatic moments in the Old Testament. And then immediately afterwards, he runs and he collapses under a juniper tree and says, Lord, this is enough. Take my life. And we're not talking about a man with weak faith. We're talking about somebody who just had exhausted themselves. And what did God do? Did he tell him, hey, just get it together? You just called fire down from heaven. No, he sent an angel, and the angel said, you need to eat and you need to sleep. And so he fed him twice. And the angel said to him, the journey is too great for you. I like that the angel didn't minimize what Elijah was carrying. He put a name on it. He said, you're too tired. And he served him in a very practical way with food and rest. So it's okay to tell God you have nothing left. That actually might be one of the best things that you can say, that exhaustion does not equal failure. But Elijah's collapse did not disqualify him. God still had big dreams for him. And if you've been holding back in prayer because you felt you're too weak, then God can handle it. He already knows everything anyway. Thanks so much for listening in to Questions in Hard Spaces. We'll be right back after this word from our sponsor.
Faith shapes how we live, and it should shape how we steward our money too. That's why 316 Financial exists. We're an online bank created to help people align their finances with their faith and their values. At 316 Financial, 10% of our profits are given back to faith-based ministries, supporting work that makes a lasting difference. It's a simple idea. Everyday banking can be a powerful way to live generously, and you don't have to sacrifice quality easy to bank with purpose. 316 Financial offers modern online banking, no monthly fees, free ATM access nationwide, and competitive interest rates designed to help your money grow responsibly. Whether you're saving for the future, managing everyday expenses, or looking for a bank that reflects what matters most to you, 316 Financial makes it easy to bank with intention. Learn more and open an account today at bank316.com. Banking services are provided by 316 Financial, a division of Primis Bank, member FDIC.
Thank you for allowing that brief word from our sponsors. And now for this second segment, Pray More, Worry Less. I want to dive back into Elijah's story because I really just saturated myself with it. God is under juniper trees. And I think this is important. This segment is always one prayer principle to help you pray more and worry less. And today's principle is God meets you under the juniper tree, and then he sends people. So after God gave Elijah the opportunity to rest, Elijah went to Mount Horeb and he went into a cave. And this is where God spoke to him and said, "What are you doing here, Elijah?" And Elijah just unloaded and said, "I've been zealous for you, Lord." And he doesn't argue with him. He says, "Go stand on the mountain." And then we often are familiar with the story. There was wind. It could have torn the mountain apart, but God wasn't in the wind. And then there was an earthquake, but God wasn't in the earthquake. And then there was fire, but God wasn't in the fire. But after that, a still small voice came. And so many of us, we want that dramatic sign, the unmistakable miracle. And when it doesn't come, we start to wonder if God's even paying attention. But I want you to know that God is in the whispers, and you have to be still in order to hear him. I think a lot of times we stop at the whisper, though. After that quietness, we stop at the whisper, we listen to the small voice, but then God gave Elijah instructions. Go anoint Hazael, go anoint Jehu, go anoint Elijah. And God says, I've reserved 7,000 in Israel who have not bowed to Baal. Elijah had thought he was the only one. He was convinced that he was completely alone. And God said, no, there are 7,000. You just can't see them when you're sitting under a juniper tree. Elijah went, he did the anointings, he found Elisha, and Elisha became his successor and his companion. He walked with him. He learned from him. He stayed with him. He ministered to him. And when Elijah was taken up to heaven, Elisha was right there. God's answer to Elijah's issues wasn't just a whisper. It was a person. When we feel like quitting, when we feel like the only one, when prayer feels impossible, then God's provision often comes in the form of people that he places around us. And they're usually not perfect people, because none of us are. They're just people who will walk with us, pray with us, stay with us. That's community. It's a part of how God tends to our souls when we're depleted. And so I wanted to share with you in this final segment of the podcast, I always share an answered prayer story. And this is one from just this morning, actually. I shared with you that for 16 years, I've been doing some form of online ministry. And it started with that little blogspot blog back when nobody really knew what a blog was. And I've never chased popularity. I've honestly not thought I'm not crazy about being on social media. I just love books and stories and writing. And I hope I can help somebody get through a hard day. I've seen a lot of discouragement in these 16 years. I lost my mom to leukemia, lost my daughter Taylor slowly through a rare metabolic disorder, and she went to heaven on January 2nd, 2019, and I've lost my dad to cancer. And this year has been long for a lot of reasons. So when I woke up this morning and I knew it was a podcasting day and I saw that sign, start each day with a grateful heart, and I was feeling heavy, I said, Lord, help me see things the way that you see them. I need an attitude realignment. And I opened my email, and there was a message there from a reader. I don't know how she found me initially or what made her write today, but the last lines of her email said, stay strong in him. He has mighty things in store for you. Stay strong in him. He has mighty things in store for you. There was the answer sitting in my inbox from someone I'd never met. God met me under a juniper tree this morning, not with a wind or an earthquake, but a whisper through a kind woman and her email. He tends to us. He sends people. He really does. And if today's episode found you somewhere real, if maybe you woke up this morning under a juniper tree, there's more encouragement waiting for you. I have 2 things for you. One, my book, One More Step, Finding Strength When You Feel Like Giving Up. It's at rachelwojo.com/shop or wherever you buy books. And then if Elijah's story resonated with you today, if you're feeling like you just might be the only one, I wanted to tell you about a brand new opportunity called the Hope Circle. It's a community of women who pray together, walk together, and show up for each other, because God's answer to isolation is people. And the Hope Circle is one of the ways He might be answering that for you right now. You can find out more at rachelwojo.com/the-hope-circle. We'll put the link in the show notes. You are not the only one, and you don't have to walk alone. Thank you so much for joining me on the Untangling Prayer Podcast today. I pray this episode has encouraged your heart. Until next time, remember, God sees you, He hears you, and He knows your needs.
Thanks for joining me on the Untangling Prayer Podcast. If this episode resonated with you, share it with someone who could use a little hope. And be sure to subscribe for more. Until next time, keep seeking, keep trusting, and keep praying.
Many of us feel hurried. And did you know that being in a hurry is costing us more than we realize? Hi, I'm Jem Fadling, co-host of Unhurried Living, where my husband Alan and I help people learn to live and lead from fullness rather than on empty. We provide resources and training to teach you healthy patterns for rest, work, and spiritual connection. With more than 25 years of experience at the intersection of spiritual formation and leadership development, Unhurried Living seeks to inspire others to rest deeper, live fuller, and lead better. Join us each week as we continue to have conversations about leadership, soul care, the power of prayer, and much more. You can find Unhurried Living at lifeaudio.com and on your favorite podcasting app.